Greetings. We're talking more about pentatonic scales today. Now, I've done some things on pentatonic in the past, and you can go back in the lesson archives and read about that because it wasn't a lesson video, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth with pentatonic in video form. So this is going to be a multi-part video simply because pentatonic is it's a very large part of guitar playing, and so I really can't cover all of this in 10 minutes. So we're going to start with kind of some basics, some basic theory about it, some basic application, and some basic riffs that you can use with pentatonic. So I'm not going to go too much into the theory of this, since, like I said, we covered most of this before. But a pentatonic scale is only 5 notes. You know, pentatonic, 5 notes. So you can turn anything into a pentatonic scale. All you need to do is just narrow it down to 5 notes instead of the typical 7. And to take a look at maybe A minor pentatonic, let's compare it to the minor scale. If the minor scale is 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, what you're doing to make the A minor scale an A minor pentatonic is you're going to take out the 2 and you're going to take out the flat 6. So what it's going to sound like right away is you're going to have this first little skip here between 1 and the very next note's a flat 3. So right away we've got something that you don't see in major and minor scales, a step and a half as opposed to a step. We got that step and a half interval to give it that feel, and we have it again from the 5 to the flat 7. And this here's the typical area most people learn, or the typical pattern most people learn the minor scale in. This little that's great, but it's all over the place, and I'll include some tab to show you some different positions. But that's what you need to work on, is take that basic form, those 5 basic notes of A, C, D, E, and G, and just find them all over the neck and play them in different regions, and that's where you're going to really get to learn the pentatonic scale. So let's talk about maybe a couple of riffs you can use with this. All right, since you're doing a 2-note per string kind of thing, very easy to make some cool music with pentatonic scale, since it's a pretty simple scale. You're going to hear this a lot in blues, kind of this little things like that. Very easy to do. You're just bending up and then hitting these 2 strings here. So that's just kind of a basic riff. Something that Billy Gibbons with ZZ Top likes to do. That can be a really cool thing to work on too. And all you're doing there is sliding right here. If we're in A minor, we're going to slide from the D up to the E and let that note ring. And then with our finger here, repeatedly pluck on the G. So that's going from the 4 up to the 5 and then plucking on the flat 7. Other things that you can do, include different notes in it, because after a while you're going to get bored with it. You're going to want to add something else to it. One thing is adding a major third. And you can add it there, or you can add it in here, where you're going to take bend from the flat third up to the 4 and then bend back down, but just down to the major third. Also, the use of a flat 5 in this. You kind of that bluesy scale, and that's what that's called. A blues scale is it's a pentatonic scale with an added flat feel. Maybe adding in a major 7 now and again. So one riff that I really like to use a lot, and this I'll have this tabbed out for you, is this little. What you're doing there is, let's do this in B. I'm getting tired of A. You bend up, but not all the way. You'll finish off that note by hitting it there. So then do a hammer on out of nowhere, right there onto your flat 7. Pull off to the 5. And that's all you're doing. Just do that really fast. Practice it slowly. You can switch up the string that you're bending too. You don't have to bend on the second, you can bend on the high E. kind of a fun little thing to do. I'll have the tabs up for you. Now, since, like I said, you got 2 notes per string, it's very easy to work on your speed with this too. Just sit around and do trills and hammer-ons and pull-offs all the time. Trying to keep a steady beat right here. And just go as fast as you can, just to work on that hand strength. And don't stop until you're sore. Now, one thing, a little riff that I like to use with that kind of speed is just a descending thing, kind of going. Do that again. And so I'll have the tabs for that, but all that is real slow. I'm sorry. It's just all that is, and that's an E. Now, besides, in blues and rock, where this is very prevalent, you can also think about using this, instead of in a minor context, you can use it in a major context. For example, here's one way you can do it, of course, is if we're playing in the key of C. You can use its relative minor pentatonic to solo over, provided the chord progression fits. But if you're, like I said, if you're in C, the relative minor of C, which is the 6th degree away from C, C, D, E, F, G, A. So A minor pentatonic, you can use that in the key of C major. You wouldn't necessarily use it in A major, so don't get that confused. Just because you're in the key of A doesn't mean that you can play A minor pentatonic. Think about what its relative major is. So A minor to C, if you're in the key of C, you can use it a lot. Now, you can use this in major situations as well, where if we're going in E, we're playing in E major, we can actually get away with playing a minor pentatonic in there, and not its relative, but which would be C sharp minor. We can actually play an E minor pentatonic sometimes over something like. Just go visit it really quickly and make sure you come right back to major, because a lot of times it's just going to sound like you're playing out if you stay on that minor pentatonic for too long. It sounds like you're playing out because you are, but in a creative way. You can go make that little segment of music maybe a little bluesier, but make sure you go right back into major, and it'll fit very well. So give that a shot. All right, there's some basics out of the way for you to work on. And make sure that you work on the pentatonic scale, not just in these little areas that we've worked on, but all over the neck. Try to find as many patterns as you can. Like I said, I'll include. I think I've got like 4 different places to play the pentatonic, and make sure that you go up here past the 12th fret as well. Just really get to know the neck. It goes in with your neck theory when you're learning any scale. This one may just be a little simpler for you since it's only 5 notes. So give that a shot all over the place. And be sure to use this in a musical context. Jam with your friends. Maybe get a little recording device. Yeah, if you can, definitely get one of those. It's a great practice tool. So see you next time. We'll work on maybe a couple of different things with pentatonic, some major pentatonic, as well as maybe some exotic stuff. So that'll be kind of fun. I'll see you next week.